Welcome back everyone to the last session for day one of the Diggers and Dealers Conference. Our first speaker is Mark Williams, MD of Red 5. Welcome to the stage. Mark has been MD of Red 5 since April 2014. He was previously GM of the Tampancan Copper Gold Project in southern Philippines from 2017 to 2013. Mark has over 20 years of mining experience operating within a diverse range of open cut, underground, quarrying and civil engineering environments across the developed markets of Australia, the UK and New Zealand, as well as the emerging markets of the Philippines, Vietnam, Thailand and the South Pacific. Under Mark's leadership, Red 5 are developing the King of the Hills Gold Project, which will be one of the newest significant gold mines in WA. Over to you, Mark.
Thank you very much, Jane, for that kind introduction. It is a real privilege to be presenting here at Diggers and Dealers again. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your interest in the Red 5 story. At Red 5, we have two gold mines in the eastern goldfields of Western Australia. We have Darlot and King of the Hills. And it was less than 12 months ago, in September 2020, when Red 5 finished the feasibility study for King of the Hills, placing the project as one of the top 10 largest endowed gold mines in Australia. Having a mineral resource of 4.1 million ounces, a ore reserve of 2.4 million ounces, which is open completely along strike and at depth, with a 16-year mine life, with the first 6 years, the average production being an estimated 176,000 ounces on average per annum at an all-in sustaining cost forecast of $1,339 per ounce. To be able to realise this, we need to invest $226 million. Based on the supercharged gold prices, the strong gold content, we essentially placed the order for the long lead items and started construction immediately. With construction starting in October, we've actually been constructing for about 10 months now, and we have 8 months to go before our first gold is poured in the June quarter of 2022. A couple of slides for you. On the right-hand side, you can see the table of where King of the Hills is positioned against the other Tier 1 gold mines in Australia. On the left-hand side, with the bubble chart, you can see where Red 5 is positioned with a 16-year mine life and our low all-in sustaining cost against our peer group. From a corporate side, we have extremely strong shareholder support, both in the US, in Europe, and of course here in Australia. At the end of June, we had close to $50 million of cash and bullion in the bank. We also have a $175 million funding debt facility from the banking syndicate of HSBC, BNP Paribas, and Macquarie Bank, which we had our first drawdown in July of last month. A bit more detail on King of the Hills project. It all starts, of course, with geology. And as King of the Hills is a brownfield site, it's produced from the open pit and the underground. Over 2 million ounces has been depleted to date. The geology is well understood. It is open along strike and open along at depth. It's been subject to, the mineral resource has been subject to 2 third-party validations, both by Caris Mining and more recently as part of the syndicate funding requirement with CSA Global. The metallurgy is similar to the geology. It is well understood with a high level of confidence. We have significant historical processing data, test work, and of course, we've been processing the ore at our Darlot mill for the past 3 years. The metallurgy is very simple. We have high recoveries, coarse grind size, low reagent use, low cyanide use. We're close to the gas pipeline over the goldfields, and all that culminates with our processing cost of being less than $12 per tonne, which gives us a significant advantage regionally. With our construction being well on track, we have committed over $164 million of contracts out of our $188 million worth of capital. So that's about 90% of the contracts have been placed either on a buy-sell agreement or with service contracts, the largest being with Maca Interquip as our key EPC contractor. We've spent over $80 million to date. The project is on track and on time and will be one of the great projects of this decade. There's a number of jobs that have been completed, such as the village. This is a 380-bed facility. It was completed on time and several $1 million under budget. The bulk earthworks have also been completed, and on top of that, you can see the processing construction activities are well underway. Those CIL tanks, each ring is 3 meters, so you can see with 5 rings, those go to 15 meters in height. The majority of the concrete, the large concrete pours have been done with the mill foundations and the mill plinths. On top of those 2 mill plinths, there are a motor sits on one of those to drive the large Sag Mill. Each motor is 62 tons in weight. The Sag Mill will be arriving this month. It is an oversized F.L. Schmidt mill. It is the same size as the Gruyere and Lake Howell project, and it is 36 foot in diameter. All in all, this is going to be a big show, and we are looking forward to our first gold in June of next year. The long lead items, because of our high conviction in the project, were ordered in September, October last year. All of the long lead items, I'm pleased to say, are on site currently, other than the shells, which will be arriving this month. So all in all, we have completed a number of activities: the debt financing, the construction permits, the bulk earth works and village, tick, job done. The EPC mobilisation with Maca Interquip is well underway, and we're ramping up very nicely. We'll see that construction will be complete in the March quarter, with commissioning in the March and June quarter, with that first gold shortly after. We have McMahon Contractors will be our open pit and underground mining contractor. We've signed a 5-year contract with them. We're delighted that we've been able to find a premium WA mining contractor that has the ability to both mine the open pit and underground, and we see that there's a number of synergies and advantages for that. A couple of slides showing the material movement over the 16 years. There's a couple of value engineering projects that we're looking at. Firstly, the open pit mine life, to be able to increase the mine plan from 4 million tonnes northward. So we're looking at 5 and 6 million tonnes per annum mining schedules. To be able to take advantage of that, we've already made the decision to go from 140 to 190 tonne class trucks, and we've also increased the ROM bin size. The second value engineering is to be able to extend the underground mine life past the current life of mine of 5 years. If those 2 opportunities come to fruition, you'll be able to see the ounce profile increase on an annual basis. We purchased King of the Hills 4 years ago for $16 million. with being able to look at the project differently, to being able to invest in our people, invest in drilling, complete pre-feasibility and final feasibility study, the project is worth, on an NPV basis, 4 years later, over $1 billion. Our second project, Darlot. Darlot is one of the great gold mines of the goldfields. It's produced over 3 million ounces over its 32-year mine life and has been mining consecutively for all of its life. Today we announced 2 initiatives to be able to breathe new life into Darlot. Firstly, we've taken the decision to be able to truck the ore from Darlot to our King of the Hills process plant when it is in operation in the June quarter next year. We'll be able to take advantage of the significant latent capacity in the mill, and we've recently completed a study by Mintrex which confirms that with no additional capital, our processing plant at King of the Hills can take the 700,000 tonnes of Darlot ore on an annual basis, together with the 4 million tonnes of King of the Hills ore, and process that without any issues. So we will be able to ramp up smoothly to 4.7 million tonnes per annum. The second initiative that we announced today is to engage mining contractor Redpath to be on a 12-month contract to be able to advance development into the Darlot underground mining workings to be able to fast-track the access to the significant 1.3 million ounces of mine inventory that we have at Darlot. We've also been busy with our project in the Philippines. The Philippines asset is where the project started. The company started with Red 5, and I'm very pleased to say that we've been able to reach a divestment with a significant Filipino group for $55 million US. We see that commercial completion will be complete in the coming weeks. The advantages that this divestment have for the Red 5 shareholders is, firstly, it will help strengthen our balance sheet. Secondly, it will streamline our story and the management focus to purely being here in Western Australia. And thirdly, it will prevent any further care and maintenance costs. This time next year, where will Red 5 be? You can see where we're currently at with regards to our significant reserves and our enterprise value. And we see that as we take every step towards de-risking and achieving that first gold production, you will see the discount that is currently applied to our share price. We see that discount being lifted and reduced in the coming months. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your interest in Red 5 today. We see that King of the Hills is a unique project, not only for the employees and the shareholders of Red 5, but also the people of Western Australia. It is generating a significant number of jobs through this construction period. Over its significant mine life, it will create over 300 steady-state workers, and it will also add significant amount of taxes and royalties to the state coffers. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark. Now, we do have time for questions. Are there any questions from the floor? I can't see, so... No? Okay, we've got some questions on the live stream, so I'll just pick one from here. So, Mark, what is the potential of increasing gold production by expanding the capacity of the processing plant?
Sure. Thank you very much, Jane, for that question. There is significant additional capacity is the short answer. The crushing circuit is all front-loaded for 6 million tonnes. We have a significant oversized Sag Mill of 36-foot diameter. It's the same diameter as the two projects that I talked about at Lake Cowell and Gruyere, which are both projects are in the order of about 9 million tonnes. So we see that if we're able to match the mine plan for the open pit and the underground, we see that there'll be significant upside to be able to ramp up throughput and production, and that's what our operations team are working on through value-added opportunities to be able to drive production well past north of our current 4.7 million tonne per annum run rate at the moment.
Okay, thank you. And another one from the live stream. If the underground's extended, what could that mean for the production profile versus the current mine plan?
Sure, thank you again. The underground production currently is about, the underground, once in operations, will add about 50,000 ounces per annum. We have a 5-year underground life of mine plan. It's open in all directions. Every time we drill a hole into this unique ore body, we find more gold, and we see that the potential for the underground to live and extend well past the 5 years is enormous. We've only scratched from the underground portion. We've only scratched the surface, so to speak. We've only explored a fraction of the potential underground possibility that this unique ore body and deposit has, and potentially, if the mineralisation extends across the whole of the potential, our children will be mining this from an underground point of view.
Fantastic. Please join me in thanking Mark.
Thank you.